This show is great, and I think we all know that. Looking back a couple months later, let's talk about it. So what makes this show so amazing? I would say it's characters. I would say the growth and the relationships we see and follow throughout this show. So starting off with season 1, I would say the most important relationships are probably Vi and Vander, Jinx and Vi, and Jinx and Silco. So starting off with Jinx and Vi, they have this relationship in the beginning of the show where there's like this constant battle between them. Like, I gotta protect my sister. Vi feels like she has to protect Jinx, but she also needs to, let her grow and become stronger and grow into herself, if you will. But she has this need to protect. And so I think that causes a rift between them. So when the falling out happens and Vander dies because of Jinx, it's like Jinx holds more on to anyone that will show her love. And that's Silco at the beginning. And I think what's really cool about this is that Silco is someone that she needs, but it's not exactly who she needs. She needs someone in her life, and that's who took her in. And he makes her stronger, he builds her up, he loves her quite a lot, actually. But there's always this underlying, I need my sister, I need my actual family. And so being able to go on this journey where we see them like separately grow, and then when they reconnect, they can finally start reworking their relationship. It's just something we can all relate to and feel. Like, even if you haven't had that breakup with a family member in your life, you just know what that's like to want and desire to be back with someone that you're not with anymore, and how important and special that person was to you and why you might need them in your life. That's season 1. And at the end of season 1, Silco dies and Jinx kind of has to rely more on Vi. But the cool thing also about season 2, as we go into it, is we explore more relationships more deeply. Specifically, I think Jace and Victor. They kind of have been working together this whole time, but one starts to break away and go down a slightly different path than the other. Victor wants to go down a slightly more, let's go full in, and Jace is a little bit more hesitant now. He's like, I've seen some mistakes of what Hextech does, and what it could lead to. By the end of season 2, we see that really flourish, and they do the same thing that Jinx and Vi do. By the end of season 2, they come back together, and it's like, okay, let's sort out differences. Let's find a balance in our opinions, in our love for each other, and just understand where we're coming from instead of trying to have one opinion over the other. Just find like this relationship, this sort of dance between each other. This show is a really great lesson in how to handle our relationships and how not to handle our relationships, and maybe why some of those relationships are so important and so valuable to us. I think that's why it touches so many people, just because there's so much heart in these characters. But it's also really cool. The animation's amazing. You really love seeing them fight. You love seeing them take back justice for the underworld. Yeah, it's just cool to see how these characters grow. So, coming back to it, what makes this show so great? The characters. Now, is it worthy of calling it a masterpiece like we've all been calling it? I think looking back, I would say absolutely, because I still think about this show almost every day. I don't know how else to say it, but I love the characters. It makes me feel something really deep in my core, a very human story and experience. And that's what we need from storytelling, right? That's what we want. While also being fun, entertaining, super cool all at the same time. I love it very much. I would say it's definitely still a masterpiece and will be for a long time. Anyways, those are my thoughts on Arcane Season 2 and whether or not it's still a masterpiece. Please subscribe, like, comment, all the good things. It helps me more than you would ever know. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.